What's up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN. I'm joined today by UFC lightweight Justin Gaethje, who fights Michael Chandler at UFC 268 on November 6th in New York at Madison Square Garden. Correct, Justin? There was a little bit of some discussion over, obviously with everything going on in the world and the country. Where was this event going to land? And it seems like it's officially, you're confident you're going to be fighting Chandler, and it's going to be in New York, yeah?
I mean, as far as I'm not confident. When I was fighting Tony Ferguson back in May, we were going to fight in California. That changed a couple of weeks before. I know that Dana's going to make it happen. Either way, I'll be fighting November 6th. If it's in New York, that's sea level. So as long as it's somewhere else that's sea level, then I'll be cool with it.
And that's
now it's New York.
Cool. Well, by the time the fight happens on November 6th, it will have been over a year since we've seen you in the octagon. How come? Why have you not fought over the last year?
Yeah, I mean, I fight twice a year. I fought in May and October. So that was 2 times, in a 5 or 6 month, time period. That was not normal. This break has been not normal. Honestly, it's been the way things have played out. I was number 1, fought number 5, number 3, fought number 4. And if you're number 2, you were kind of out in limbo, and it just so happened that I was number 2. So that was just the way of the world at the time. Things have kind of cleared up. Dustin Poirier is going to fight Oliveira, and now it's clear that I got to go out there and get a dub, which has been clear the whole time. I just needed to find the I wasn't going to go fight 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's just not what we do. I didn't work my way here for that, and especially being the last guy to hold the interim title. The guy retires. I understand having to win and all that, but there was, nobody wants to talk about the special circumstances. Like, this dude was the GOAT and he retired, and then I was sitting number 2 with the last guy to hold the thing. So, in my mind, probably biased, but I thought that I should have got that title shot. So I was a little bitter, but outside that, there was nobody to fight.
Yeah. Does that bitterness stayed with you at all going into this fight? Like, yeah, I'll fight this guy. Yeah, I'll fight him in New York. I'll make a paycheck, but I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to be fighting Michael Chandler to get a title shot. Has that feeling stayed with you as the fight is announced?
Things moved on. Like I said, things moved on, and now, there's a different route that, the path always changes a tiny bit, but ultimately my destination is just to get to the top, to prove that I'm the best in the world. So, yeah, I mean, whatever.
It didn't seem like there was much fire to this smoke, but maybe it was just something that Ali threw out there. But I do remember in May we were talking about, hey, can I get an update on Gaethje? And he was saying a lot of the things you were saying, like, oh, he's just in limbo. It's just kind of like bad timing for him. But he said, hey, if the UFC wants to put a fun fight together, they could throw him in there with Max Holloway. Was that a fight that you actually wanted? Was that a fight that was ever discussed? Or was that just Ali kind of saying, hey, what everybody else would say is that Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje would be a fun fight?
Max is probably my favorite fighter to watch. So, I honestly don't want to fight the guy ever, but, I needed to put myself in the title picture. And if he jumps weight classes, I wasn't sure if he was going to, with the Brian Ortega, Volkanovski being tied up with the Ultimate Fighter, I thought maybe he might want to come up to lightweight and try his hand, with Khabib being gone at the lightweight title. So, that was an option at the time, but didn't work out.
Yeah.
And it was just, I wanted to fight, we were back in front of fans. That's ultimately what I was looking for.
So it wasn't all that long ago, like just over a month, I want to say, Michael Chandler went on Instagram and said that you kept turning down this fight. And then you were pretty quick to jump on social media and said, I haven't been turning down this fight. What was the real story there? I mean, what kind of, how did this fight get put together, and how many times, when was it first brought to you, I guess?
Yeah, it doesn't even take much critical thinking to figure it out. Like, we were maybe before he fought or right after he fought Hooker and got the title shot. I'm not sure if there was a time in there where, there might have been a fight that we could have made. I was, obviously I had fought, I lost, needed a win. He was new, fought Dan Hooker. Even he knew he shouldn't get a title shot after beating Dan Hooker. So, that was maybe an option at the time. And then he gets the title, so I was waiting. I said yes at that exact moment. I said, yes, send it. I had the battle agreement. No, not the battle agreement. I was we're renegotiating a whole contract. So that was done, figured out. So the fight was, ready to go. And then, I wake up one morning and I hear that he's fighting for the belt. So that's off the table. He gets knocked out. obviously after you get knocked out, he's on the internet saying he doesn't want to fight soon. He needs to take a break. He needs to take care of his health. So there's no time in that period that he could have wanted to fight or fought. So again, it doesn't take much critical thinking to say he's full of shit. Like when was that even a possibility? You fought Dan Hooker, you got the title shot, you got knocked out. There's nowhere in that time frame other than when I said yes, and you then got it. I'm not saying that you backed out. You got a title shot, took the opportunity, of course.
Yeah.
I'm doing that all day. But that's the story. So yeah, he's full of shit. It's he's seeking attention. The same reason you come out and talk about COVID vaccines, like this is all personal information. You guys can go f yourself. Like, no.
What are your general? Directly state, what are your feelings towards Michael Chandler? It seems like you're annoyed at him and certain things, but then when you guys had that kind of back and forth on the UFC weigh-in show, it seemed like you kind of somewhat liked one another. How do you feel about the guy?
I've never been around the guy other than when he was around me after my fight, after I lost, and I was, trying to take in his stride, being carefree, having some drinks, around with the Nelk boys. That's the only time that I was really, have ever been around him. So, I was probably more bitter at the opportunity that he got, in favor of me, which is whatever, it is what it is. Obviously I'm going to use that, and I was pissed off at the time. I thought this was the most coveted title in the UFC when Khabib was around, and it was turned into, almost the laughingstock of the UFC overnight. When you had Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler fighting each other for the title, to be the best when those two weren't, the best guys fighting for the belt. It was me and Poirier is who should have been fighting for the belt, number one, number two. That's what should have happened. It's going to happen again. I'll get that chance, but yeah, that's probably, I don't dislike the guy. I think he's a attention whore for sure, but that's fine.
No way.
It's entertainment business. So, he's not wrong to even seek attention or anything. I just want to, I don't know him, so I don't like him. He's my enemy. He's trying to take everything I am. He's going to try to kill me on November 6th. That's what I'm preparing myself for. That's what ultimately I have to convince myself is the most real thing so that I'm able to go to a primal place and be, not who Justin Gaethje is right here. It's a place I get to go twice a year. I love going there once or twice a year. It's been a while, so I'm definitely feeding for that feeling in front of fans. I'm a performer, a show off. So that's the biggest driving motivational factor right here. Winning, beating Michael Chandler. I don't want to lose to that guy. That's for sure. And fighting in front of fans. All that together is going to have me ready for November 6th.
Why did you say that last part? I don't want to lose to that guy. I wouldn't think you would want to lose to anybody. Why would it hurt even more if you lost to him?
Anybody, but specifically this guy. Yeah. It would be, I don't know. I don't think, you don't ever talk down to your opponents. This dude's super explosive, amazing. It's got amazing skills. He's super athletic. His hands are going to be well protected now that he's in those onyx gloves. He's going to make it to that fight. I know he's going to be ready. He says first guy to take a step back is a coward or, some kind of lost soul or something. He's not going to be taking a step backward. He'll be shooting for legs, and it'll be early. So that, we can guarantee.
You think you like the way the direction of the division is headed in the sense of, I've never heard someone say it that way, but I agree with you that it was the most coveted title. And that's a good way to put it when Khabib held it. You feel like you like the way it's headed now that, hopefully Dustin and Charles fight. You think you're going to get back to a semblance of order at lightweight?
Yeah, time heals everything, man. That is one of the truest things. And it is doing that. As soon as Poirier fights Oliveira, if Oliveira beats him and really, solidifies himself as the best. Right now, he's not the best. Right now, he's still, got some quit in him, and he hasn't been tested by the best guys. I think Chandler did do that, but it's a very favorable matchup for Oliveira. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I saw
how he handles Poirier. I can't give him credit now, but if he goes out there and beats Poirier, I have no other choice but to give him the respect that he deserves.
Why do you think you're still holding out? Because I think he's won a lot of people over, and it's particularly on the quit thing. He got hurt bad by Michael Chandler and he came back and won it. So I would almost say that he proved that that was wrong.
Do you think he deserved to be in that title fight with his resume?
I think that there were some other guys that were ranked ahead of him, but I mean, he does have a long win streak. He's got the finish.
Look at the fights that he won and got on this streak. Tony Ferguson's a good win. Mm-hmm. Nick Lentz, is probably the next biggest win on that streak. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I didn't think he deserved it. That was me as a fan, from the outside. That's, when it comes to credentials, sure, you have 8 wins in a row. And he's been around forever. The guy deserves it. If I'm a fan, I've been watching this forever. The guy's been around since I was in college. So yeah. And put that time in, deserves it. But when it comes to credentials, I didn't think that, he's the number 1 or number 2 guy on the list.
Yeah. You mentioned when you were talking. You mentioned when you were talking about agreeing to this Michael Chandler fight that you were talking about a new contract. Have you signed an extension? Are you locked into the UFC for a while now?
Yep. We're here for a bit. Yeah, I'm excited, man. It was a great day. Anytime you can, you like to call it security, but we know it's not security. We can't get out of it. They can fire us anytime. I wish that I was able to be really proud of my accomplishment of securing my future of these 4 to 6 fights. But ultimately, that's not the case. I got to go out and prove myself every fight. That's what every single one of us has to do. And name of the game. I enjoy it. I'm a show off. Like I said, I'm a performer. So I'm glad that, again, it's also why you can earn more money, by being a performer and being entertaining. That's why I'm getting paid more than most guys in the history of the sport. I don't know why either, but, I do know why, because I'm excited. So,
yeah.
Good.
And I don't want to dive in too much into the details on it, and I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but you have said in the past, I want more money up front. You have said that you don't have 5-10 more years in the sport. You have a few years left probably in this sport.
We had a meeting. He told me that if I did something that he would do it. I did it. And he didn't necessarily follow through, but now, we have, I had a conversation, I think I let him know that I didn't appreciate that him not following through with that specifically. And now, yeah, everything is kosher. I have nothing but respect for Dana. I'm going to speak my mind whenever I have a thought on my mind. That's probably maybe not the best thing, but that is who I am. And maybe it comes across as critical or, disrespectful, but I have nothing but respect for Dana, honestly. Like, the dude makes happen. And that's, I'm proud to be part of the UFC. Don't ever get that confused. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm an honest guy. Whenever I have something to say, I'll say it, but business is business. That's a lot of money going on down there. So, I don't have the knowledge that one would need to criticize. So I'm going to criticize from the outside. And, but again, I'm proud to be here, and I'm happy that I'm around for a little bit longer.
When people found out about this fight between you and Chandler, obviously they were all excited. Everyone's looking at this as a potential fight of the year on paper. And a big thing that I've seen is everyone's like, I wish it were 5 rounds. I wish it were 5 rounds. How they're kind of doing this thing now. It's almost like the Nick Diaz thing where they'll make these fights 5 rounds. Would you have wanted this fight to be 5 rounds? Can you even still talk him into making it 5 rounds if you would want that?
Why would I sign up for 2 more rounds? I get paid the same.
Yeah.
I get paid the same at the end of the day. If I'm gonna ever, suffer a critical, chronic, or ultimately death, in that case, it will be in round 4 or 5. So, I'll save those for championship fights. Yep. Or maintenance. I'm cool.
Yep. UFC 268 stacked card. It's looking like how they used to give these cards names. It could be UFC 268 Trevor Whitman, right? I mean, it's like,
Kamaru. I just made Kamaru turn his music down. He was mad at me, but Kamaru's working right behind me. He does me, Rose, and Kamaru back to back to back. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a dream come true for a coach. Everyone from the outside is like, oh, it's going to suck. Like, ultimately, it's a dream come true. Here's an opportunity. 2 of the biggest fights there is, championship fights, and then 1 title contender fight. So they're 3 huge fights. And there's no man that's better prepared or will be better prepared than him.
Yeah. How about you, man? Because I know that you're a good teammate, and I've heard it from a lot of different people. I mean, I've watched you go back and forth with Rose and get her ready for a fight. Kamaru has talked about it. Beneil Dariush, after his recent fight, talked about what a good teammate you could be. Like, Is that almost something you got to kind of get right in your head about, like, hey, I'm not a teammate during this camp though. Like, as much as I'm with Kamaru, as much as, Rose is going to be fighting on that card, that I need to be selfish and focus on myself. Like, is there any kind of conversation you got to have over the next 2 months?
No, I think I have a human services degree. I love helping people. Like, that brings me, happiness and joy. So through this training process, the ability and the opportunities to do that I'll take it a day at a time. I'm glad that I get, it's almost like a wrestling match, where your team goes out. I'm the first one that goes out. I got to set the tone. So that's something that I'm, embracing, and that I will embrace, but even the crazy thing is, in my locker rooms, nobody really ever loses in the locker rooms that I'm in, because I set the tone, and, there's just, a feeling that I get going in there, and it, feels good. So that's who I am. That's going to happen on fight night. I'm going to embrace the fans. Can't tell you how happy I am about that. But yeah, that'll be the best part.
That's super interesting, man. You ever like interact with those guys in your locker room, or you just feel like they kind of like feed off your positive energy on the night of the fight?
All of them, on not like personal, but like, yeah, like when Francis Ngannou was walking out to fight Rozenstruik, I was like, you could tell he was not nervous, but the opportunities get to us, all of us. I feel the same way, but I was like, let's go, man. You're a killer. And he walked out there and he killed that dude, come back.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Like, he was just, just a feeling. So, either way, he didn't need me. He was going to knock that dude out one way or another. But, I like to take a little credit, be biased.
Yeah, why not? And that was like the fastest knockout of his career. So, I mean, you must have had him amped up.
Probably the second most vicious knockout of his career.
Yeah. I want to ask you, if I can, man, about what did you think about the whole Poirier McGregor thing? He went in there and then broke his leg, and everybody's talking about, when did he break his leg? Did he go in there compromised? And he said some things after the fight. Like, what was your take on that whole situation?
I guess my take would be that he's hanging around in LA drinking too much soy milk. They got those bones, dude. I don't understand. I don't know. Your leg's not compromised if you're kicking that much, so it happened there. And there was no obvious check that should have caused a break like that. So either he has weak bones, but the most, like, I think it was just a freak occurrence. I can't explain it. You can't explain it. We've been watching this forever. So I don't know what happened.
Used to be a time, man, where I would have said the chances of Justin Gaethje and Conor McGregor fighting at some point are like 80%, 90%. I mean, it just makes so much sense. You guys have kind of gone back and forth. I don't know what that number is now. What is that number in your head? What are the chances you can get like a fight?
After he chose Cowboy, I mean, again, so he chose Cowboy, fought Cowboy. And then, I'm sure it'll go down in history as I had an opportunity to fight him in between Tony and Khabib, but I don't know that I did. I never got an offer. I never got any kind of official offer. I think it might have been my, the offer, and my Ali just being like, hey, would you do this? And I'm like, I'm fighting for the belt. Because in my mind, the ultimate goal was to beat Khabib and then Conor, and that was, tenfold, and that was worth the risk. So that was what I chose. But that could have been a possibility then, maybe. But I'd say that the chances are 0%.
0% now that you ever fight him?
Yeah, 0.
And why do you think that?
Because I don't think he'll fight, if once or twice, and it won't be guys like me. It'll be guys like Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal, favorable matchups.
Is that disappointing to you at all, or could you care less?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's fun when even now people like, like maybe like an older lady will find out that I'm a fighter, and she doesn't know. Like, I had a barbecue with the whole neighborhood had a barbecue the other day, and they only know Conor McGregor. I was like, oh yeah, so I'm ranked number 2 and he's ranked number 7 or number 9 now. So that's like, they're like, what? That's fun.
Well, I'll get you out of here with this one, because I heard some music coming on, so maybe Kamaru's getting impatient over there in the back.
Sparring every day of the week.
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, all mixed up into one day, one beautiful day.
It sounds terrible to me, but I mean, you got a smile on your face when you talk about it. But has your thoughts on the interim title that you won last year changed at all? I remember that when you were fighting Khabib, you didn't even want to hold that title. But when you look back on it now, I mean, that was in a weird time in life. You guys were the first ones back. You fought during that COVID era. You did have a UFC belt. Does that mean anything to you, or does it?
I mean, the belt is pretty, and nobody can ever take that from me. So yeah, I mean, that's something that I should be proud of. I know that I should, I should have been more proud of it maybe, but I couldn't be. That was the mindset that I had to have to face a guy like him. It didn't even work, and so it could have been, yeah, it was. It'll be a great accomplishment. I'm getting inducted into the UNC Hall of Fame. Those accomplishments will help me gain the accolades that I'm shooting for in my life. So in history that will go. There's not a lot of people that have held that title, and ultimately I have. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey, well, congrats on the UNC Hall of Fame. Congrats on the new contract, well deserved, and thank you so much for the time, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you in New York.
Yes, sir. I'll see you there.
All right, bud. Take care.